Probably another controversial. That was aggressive. Oh my god, my eye is itchy. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I actually decided that I was going to do a little bit something different. So I know I've been throwing up tutorials and a bunch of other things onto my YouTube, but today I thought that I would compile a list of products that I've bought in the past that, you know, I don't touch. I literally wish I did not spend my hard-earned money on them because, let's face it, makeup's expensive. I mean, pretty much all of the products that I'm looking at right now, they're pretty much prestige brands. I mean, there are a couple of things that I have in my pile that are more affordable, but for the most part, they're just things that, like I said, I don't touch. Things that either don't really work well or things that I just don't know at what point in my brain I thought I needed. Without further ado, I guess we'll get into this little listy, but I am going to break it up by category and hope that you enjoy watching this. I also will say that there are certain things in this pile that I still have not touched since I purchased them upwards of 2 years ago. So yikes, like, why am I like this? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that everybody's a little guilty of this. But yeah, so anyways, without further ado, let's get on into this video. First thing that I want to talk about are lip products. So I guess I'm gonna start off with let's start off with this guy. This is the Smashbox Insta Matte Lipstick Transformer. It is a gel mattifier for any cream or shimmery lipsticks that you'd like to transform into a matte version. I actually picked this up on a Black Friday deal, I think 2 years ago. It was only like, okay, it was only $10 at Sephora, but I have never used it. I actually used some of this today at work with the tester and I was just not having it. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the texture. The idea is good in, I guess, in theory, but it just feels weird and chunky and textury on the lips. So definitely not the product for me. So unfortunately, I do regret buying this. So the next product I do regret buying, I love ColourPop. Okay guys, I literally love ColourPop. I have been shopping with the brand since I started really getting into Instagram and makeup, which was around 3 years ago. So since I graduated college, I kind of picked up makeup as a hobby, and with that, it was right around the time that ColourPop was becoming a bigger entity online. And you know, I mean, this was back when they personalized the little cards that came in the mail with your orders. So I mean, I was really disappointed in the fact that I regret buying these for the fact that I haven't touched them since I bought them. I haven't worn them. I think I did a blog post, TBT, to when I used to have a blog. And like, honestly, like, I'd be a little bit more upset if I bought the real version of it. Like, okay, so I'm just gonna show you what I'm talking about. There are these 3 ultra metallic lips. This one, the writing has come off because I don't really know how, because they've been sitting in my drawer literally for 3 years. I should probably part with them at this point, but I did buy them as dupes for the Kylie Jenner metallic liquid lipsticks, which, I mean, that was a hot trend for a minute and I was really in love with the colors, but I did not want to spend the money on the product because, face it, like, I'm still a broke college kid, so here I am. The main reason I dislike this product and the reason I haven't worn it is a texture issue. I'm gonna zoom it in here, but if you see, it kind of starts bunching up on the wand and everything is like really thick. Like, I don't know. Excuse my swatches, but oh god, my hand's so dirty. Like, yeah, it's like a moussey formula, but it just translates to this strange texture on the lips, and I am not, I don't know, I'm just not the biggest fan. The red color is really the one that I wanted the most, but I decided I'd pick up all 3 because I thought that that was the thing to do at the time. So again, like, I love ColourPop for everything else, but just this formula is just not for me. It's too whipped and it's too moussey and it looks kind of funky on the face. So here are the swatches of those, but I don't know. I should probably just get rid of these at this point because Lord knows I'm not gonna wear them, but yeah, I don't know. Just was not a big fan of these. The last product in the lip category is actually a product from Kylie. I have a couple things that I regret buying from Kylie. This being the gloss. This was the first Kylie product that I actually ever purchased. I was one of the first people to receive the botched applicators. So I don't know if you can see that, but yikes. Like, I don't know. This for me was a huge deal. So as you guys may or may not know, Kylie actually offered a replacement of the original wand, which you can't tell here because it looks totally fine, but the same thing happened with the new wand. There was no difference in the frayed wand of the new batch of lip gloss. So I had emailed customer service and I was a little ticked off about this because they did kind of place the blame on me for the wand being frayed, which was totally not okay in my book, just because when I took it out of the packaging, it literally was just everywhere. So I hate to say, like, that was not obviously the last time I purchased from Kylie, but I definitely regret purchasing the glosses because I don't wear them. I think the scent, the vanilla scent, is a little bit too strong, so I do get a headache when I wear it. And other than that, like, the customer service experience that I had was just not too hot. So sorry, Kai. So the next category of items, I only have 2 products, but they are going to be foundations. So first we're gonna start off with this foundation from Stila. This is a Stay All Day foundation and it is in the shade of Light. I have used this a couple of times. My big thing with why I bought this foundation was because it was an opportunity at Ulta where I used to work, if you guys aren't familiar with that. And I think it ended up being like a $13 foundation, and I was like in the, I guess, mood to just pick up another thing and maybe hopefully like it. I hate this. I don't know, like, it oxidizes like crazy. It looks like this on the inside, but then on the cap it is like a good 2 to 3 shades darker than it appears on the inside. Just the overall texture of this foundation is just really not that nice either. I will say that it does break apart. It does not stay all day as claimed, but there are a couple other things from Stila that I absolutely adore. So this is just a product that hadn't worked for me. I wish that I still had the receipt and that I could return it, but I don't. So yeah, definitely not a winner for me, but you know, there might be people out there that do enjoy this, but it just did not work for me. This next product, holy shikes. I used to love this when it came out. I don't know why, but I used to love it. And that is the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation. This is the most full coverage, the most waterproof and anti-budge foundation I have ever used in my entire life. That being said, this is terrible for your skin. I had a lot of acne problems and this only perpetuated it. I thought that I needed full coverage on my skin, where in fact I did not, and I kind of did myself dirty and I gave myself more breakouts. So did not like the way that this treated my skin. I did not like the way it looked on my skin. It looked very dry and very, I guess, built up in certain areas. And then not to mention the fact that it oxidizes like a crazy amount. The oxidation didn't really bother me that much because I was able to compensate and get the right shade, but for the most part, it was just not a winner for me. Still have a pretty full tube and I really just like, I don't want to throw it away, but like I also don't use it, so I don't know. That's like my thing. I can't learn to love this either. So unfortunately, it just did not work for me. Okay, so the next category I have is actually a highlighter category. So this one, it's not even opened, so I could very well just return it. This is the Rainbow Highlight from Ulta Beauty. I don't know why I bought this. I clearly don't use it, so definitely not something that I'm happy to have in my collection because it's not serving me any purpose. Yeah, I remember swatching it and kind of liking it, but it was like definitely an impulse for sure. I feel like I'm gonna be scorned for this. This next product that I have is in fact a highlighter. Again, this is another one that is not open yet. I bought this because I freaked out and I thought that this collaboration was going to be a limited edition collaboration, and it just so happened that it was not in terms of the color. So my next regret is the Becca Jaclyn Hill collab. And this is the Champagne Split in the shade Prosecco Pop and I believe Amaretto. Although I do love the blush shade Amaretto, I bought this for the Prosecco Pop highlight, which is now part of their permanent line. So unfortunately, I'm a little annoyed that I bought this because I didn't have to. So, and I know that that is a very, it's a very popular opinion across the board with Becca's customers. So as you can see, it is like, why? I have not touched this. I have no intention of touching it for a long time because I don't need another gold highlight. I just have way too many. So this is almost $35 that I could have saved. So my next product is actually a pressed powder. This is from MAC. This is the Prep and Prime CC Color Correcting Compact. This is just in the orange color correcting shade. I don't use this. I wish I did. Even when I used to use it, it didn't really work that well for me. I think that this is a little bit too deep for what I need in terms of color correcting. I also feel like I'm not the biggest fan of powder color correctors either. So I do in fact regret buying this. So for the rest of everything that I have going on here, I have one non-eyeshadow product and then everything else is an eyeshadow palette. So this is the Kardashian Beauty Color Maximizer Spray. So essentially what you're supposed to do with this, you're supposed to put it on before you're self-tan. It has like an okay scent to it, but like I don't feel like it does anything in terms of how long my self-tanner lasts. I just was like rummaging through my drawers and I found this, so I realized I haven't used it in 3 years, so regret. Right, so next up I actually have a product from Makeup Forever. This is actually one of the Artist Shadow palettes. I do like Makeup Forever eyeshadows. I do think that they are great formulas, and yes, as you can tell, this has been a little bit loved. This is actually one of the first eyeshadow palettes that I really got into buying some more of, but for the most part, like, I don't reach for this anymore just because my collection has grown to be so expansive, and I guess I just don't find so much use out of these kind of neutral cool tone colors. However, like the formula, like I said, is absolutely great. Super creamy and blendable eyeshadows, but again, like this is just not the 9 pans of colors that I use on the daily. So I kind of wish I saved my money with that, but again, I was just starting out with makeup when I did buy this, so I can see where my, you know, previous self thought I needed this, but now looking back at it, it's just another thing that clogs up my collection. So okay, so my next product that I do regret buying is actually another one from Urban Decay. Sorry, Urban. The Moon Dust palette. I like this palette, don't get me wrong. I just don't find myself reaching for it that often. I thought that in theory that these shadows would be a little bit more funky to work with, but they're kind of not. They don't really hold their own pigment, and I know that they're supposed to be almost like an eyeshadow like topper, but for the most part I'm just not really wowed. I'm not in love with this. It is something that I could have lived without, but again, the hype behind this launch and this palette was a lot. So I definitely wish that I had reconsidered purchasing this for sure. This is the second to last item that I regret purchasing so far, and it is the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself palette. I love Tarte Cosmetics, and they are probably one of my favorite brands. This eyeshadow palette, while it is a good addition to a collection, I ordered it in the friends and family sale that they had at the beginning of the year, and I was just really like enamored by the color wheel and just the look of all the shadows. And when I swatched them, oh, I was really excited because all of these colors are really so beautiful, and Tarte's eyeshadow formula is one of actually my favorites. And they swatch so gorgeous. Why can't I like hold my arm up? I don't know, like these are just really pretty. And there I go, out of color focus, so cool. I went to go work with these on my eyes with a brush, and it was just a really big hot mess because they are all shimmer shades aside from this one matte transition shade. It just did not work well on me, just didn't have a good experience. And then I realized, like, how often do I do colorful looks with this kind of scheme, and I don't. So I will say that if I need to, I can go in with my finger, wet my eyelid with some Fix Plus, and then do like a little halo eye with a little pop of color, or pop it on the inner corner. But for the most part, it's not a palette that I could definitely live without, you know, like, or that I couldn't live without. So I mean, I don't know. And I did receive another one of these in my Gen Beauty bag, so I didn't have to buy it in the first place. So I'm just, I don't know, I'm conflicted, but I just kind of wish I saved my money on this guy too. All right, and last but not least, this girl right here. Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Yeah, this palette stinks. It smells like the adhesive that they used to glue the pans into the palette, and I am just not in love with that. I actually bought this when they relaunched the Too Faced Peach palette, and I was really like against the hype of the relaunch for the Too Faced palette, so I didn't buy it, and I actually bought the Kylie version instead. But I did receive the Peach palette in gratis, and I was just shaken up truly at how much I really enjoyed working with it over this palette. There's a limiting amount of things that you can do with this, whereas I feel like the Too Faced Peaches, not Peaches and Cream, Peach palette is definitely kind of a better alternative, and it wasn't as expensive because you are getting more colors, and with this one you're only getting 12. So that is basically why I regret buying the Kylie Royal Peach palette, because I don't know. I use my Too Faced palette a lot more than I use this, so ugh. This was actually the last thing that I bought from Kylie Cosmetics because I don't think I need any more makeup as it is. So definitely a regret of mine. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, this was no way supposed to be a shade thrown at any of these brands. These are just products that A, didn't work for me, B, I just don't reach for, C, I feel like, yeah, they're probably work for a lot of other people, but it's just not a position like that I need to have all of these things. So definitely wish I was a little smarter with my spending and my money, but I mean, now I know for the future, and hopefully this helped anybody considering buying any of these products. So this was just my personal experience, and yeah, I hope you guys liked watching. So if you did, don't forget to give this a thumbs up, and don't forget to comment what video would you guys like me to do next. If you guys would like to subscribe, that would be awesome sauce. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.